Hello, football family. Welcome into Huddle It Up Films. Today's a very special day for me because I have someone who embraced me when I first came on the scene here at YouTube. You probably recognize his face. You probably clicked on it because you saw his name in the thumbnail. Somebody I consider an ambassador to our fan base, and that's Mr. Ingraven. Ingraven Vids right here. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm doing really well, man. I'm doing great. And I wanted to thank you, first of all, just for coming on. And just to repeat what I said, I really appreciate it when I first came on and I reached out to you. And I really
Mhm.
wasn't expecting a response back because you know how some people are. Like, you're just another person. And I told Engraven my story. And I just wanted to thank you personally, face to face, publicly, for embracing me and giving me a little bit of encouragement and advice.
No problem, man. And I think that goes to exactly what you just said, just another person. Because I'm just another person, you just another person. We all just other people. So I don't feel like excuse me, I don't feel like one person is better than the next. I don't feel like one person is greater than the other. Because they're not. We all on the same level, man. So,
That's right, man, and that's something that I believe in my heart too, and hopefully that comes through in my work as well. But when you reach out to people, just a mental health check-in, that kind of thing, making a video. I don't know when this is going to air, but there's a recent video that you did that I watched,
mhm.
and it's just really kind because it seems to me that you understand your role. It's easy for you to be humble, but you understand your role, that you see the views and the people watching and the people that are subscribing to your channel, and there's a lot of people that look up to you that you don't even know. So I'm really glad that you take that kind of role seriously. So thank you, Engraven.
No, it ain't nothing because yeah, we all like go through all kinds of stuff. And that's why I always say you never know what somebody on the opposite end of that profile picture is going through. Whether they are being nice to you, whether they're being mean to you. Some people just having a rough day or having a rough time or having a rough patch and they don't know how to properly express it. So they go lash out on people. And it's unfortunate, but it's happened to all of us, no matter what side we're on, whether it's us lashing out on somebody because we having a bad day, or us getting lashed out on because somebody else having a bad day. So it just is what it is. It's a part of life. So it ain't no big deal, man.
Well, getting into the interview itself, after that, I had
Mhm.
to ask you. I saw you out at LJ's Fun Day, his little camp. You had your son there, so put
Mhm.
on your insider. Give me the inside information. How was it? What was it like? What did you do? What they have there? How great of a time was it?
It was cool. It was cool. Probably my favorite thing about it was that nobody was like rambunctious. Nobody was just. It was just a good vibe. It was good energy. Everybody was chill. Everybody was having a good time. Nobody was trying to do anything like stupid, anything like that. It was just fun. Lamar was very interactive. Of course, as soon as he got out of his truck, all the
Yeah,
kids they rushed him like crazy. But he was super cool. I remember when I told Carter, my son, that we were gonna meet Lamar Jackson, and when we were in line to meet him, he was a little bit nervous. And then when we got up to meet him, Lamar was like, "Oh," sticking his hand out to shake Carter's hand, but Carter was like kind of nervous. But then Carter ended up shaking his hand. I ended up shaking his hand. And I asked him, I'm like, "Man, how you what you doing out here with a jacket on, man?" Like I had to tell him that Carter, because earlier in the day, Carter had on a Lamar Jackson jersey, a black one, but Carter, he got so hot, so he's like, "Nah, I gotta change clothes." So I changed his jersey to a different shirt. And I told him, "Oh, like, how you out here with a jacket on? It's hot out here, man." And Carter had to change his jersey because of that. And he was like, "Oh, soon I'm gonna get like him too. Come and take this jacket off." But then I think about it, and I know a lot of times when I'm in the videos, even right now, I got a hoodie on, and I'm obviously in South Florida, so people question the same thing. So I could relate to Lamar with that. But it was super cool, super cool. He was super laid back, super chill. Just the same Lamar that you see on TV when you see him joking around, having fun, and all that. That was the same Lamar that we saw at the Fun Day.
and a friend of mine up here in Graven is an Eagles fan, and
Mhm.
he married a Ravens fan. They're raising their son as a Ravens fan. They went
Oh,
out.
good.
They went out. Right, a good. That's what I said. I always get to bust on them about the Eagles, but they went out to training camp, and they have the kids in that little area waiting for the players.
Hmm.
And when Lamar came out, same thing happened. All the kids pushed up against the fence, and one little kid got hurt and like was trapped and started crying. Lamar went right to that kid, picked him up, found his
Mm.
parents, took him to his parents, and basically, long story short, my buddy who is an Eagles fan, huge Lamar fan. After seeing that, after seeing how
Yeah.
he treated the kids, he said, "I'm just echoing your point that that's the way he is all the time."
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
I love that about my quarterback, and it makes me proud. I try not to get too attached to the players because you never know what happens. I try to just treat it professionally, but like I have a heart too, and it's hard not to just root for Lamar as a person. So
Oh
that's
yeah.
great. That's great, man. Thanks for telling me about that. I had to ask, and I also wanted to ask you about your Sundays. Like your professionalism and the work that you put out on Sundays is beyond, quite frankly, what I'm willing to do. I like to watch the game with my family, keep an eye on my fantasy teams. You know, have some steam left for the 8 o'clock game. See how long I can. So, can you please tell us what your Sundays are like? How do you do it?
It's work, man, but it's fun. So yeah, normally a normal Sunday, depending on if the Ravens are playing or not, but on a normal Sunday they're playing, usually at 1 o'clock. So I will do a live stream during the game, during the Ravens game, which is always fun. So that's about 3.5, 4 hours, however long the game lasts. And then we'll do the post game stream after the Ravens game ends, and those usually last about hour, hour and a half, depending on how the game went, depending on how hype we are. It just depends on a lot, and of course how much we have to say. And then after that, depending on what other games are out that day, we may cover a couple of them. We may cover one. We may not cover any. It just all depends on how I'm feeling, and if I watch the game or not. But Sundays can be very busy. And then usually that night, and if I don't record it that night, then I record it the next morning. I'll do another video review of the Ravens game, but it'll be a lot shorter. It won't be a live stream. It'll be the more condensed version of the live stream for anybody that didn't catch the live stream or anybody that didn't want to watch a long hour, hour and a half post live stream or whatnot. So Sundays are they're very, very busy. It's a fun busy, but it's still very, very busy nonetheless. So I enjoy it. I appreciate it, and it just the off season, when we're in the off season, like I'm enjoying this break right now. Like I know a lot of people like, oh man, Ravens football, and I do miss it, but at the same time, I'm loving that there is no football right now, because it's chill, it's relaxed, it's like, oh okay, it's like the calm before the storm, because the storm is like literally right around the corner. Because training camp is in a couple of weeks, and then of course the preseason will be here shortly after that, and then the regular season it'll be here before you know it. So I've been enjoying the time off and the slow season, even though it's still busy.
It's still busy because sometimes I wonder if like I see you, you're like you look like you're a human being, but I don't ever see you sleep. Like you put out a lot of videos, and it's like what something breaks, and then you're right on it. It's like, man, this guy is dedicated to his craft. He's dedicated to his fan base, the people that rely on him, and I noticed that you have a lot of fans of yours who are fans of other teams. I guess is what I meant to say, who check in with you and get their Ravens news directly from you. So that's why I kind of referred to you as an ambassador. And one of the things that makes me so proud, and the reason I reached out to you when I first started, was that I love the way that you handle yourself professionally, and I think that you represent Baltimore and the Ravens really, really well. So, thank you for that, and I think a lot of people would like to thank you for that. So I thank you for them. Just for
Nah,
all that work and stuff, man. Like, if something happens, Ingraven's gonna make a video on it, and I know it, and I'll probably watch it, and I try to get in the comments. I don't know if you see me. Sometimes I'll talk to Coach Evans or something in there in the comments and shoot back and forth. But I'm not the quickest typer, and of course it fills up. But my comments gone in like 2 minutes or two
nah, it's,
seconds.
it's it's all good, man. I think with like having people that support the channel from other teams too. Since yeah, we primarily cover Ravens, and it's like 99% Ravens, but we talk about NFL as well, just as a whole. The thing with me is that obviously a Ravens fan, but I do have a deep respect for the game of football, because it's just I think especially from 2008 to 2013, we were extremely spoiled as Ravens fans. Like playoffs, I mean, in 2008 AFC Championship, but playoffs every single year, and at least winning the playoff game every single year. From 2008 to 2012, we just knew the team, they were going to be making some noise. But then after they won the Super Bowl in 2013, that was the season that really made me appreciate football a lot more. Just the game as a whole and appreciating other teams as a whole. Because before I just had tunnel vision, it was just Ravens, 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 and that's it. I don't care about your team. Your team sucks. Your team this, your team that, whatever. It was only Ravens. But in 2013, when they didn't make the playoffs, I was like, whoa, okay, they didn't make it. And that allowed me to really appreciate what it takes to build a great team and what it takes to be a playoff team. And it just made me, since I was forced to actually watch other teams like that at that point, it was like, oh, okay, well, that team ain't so bad. That team ain't so bad either. And it just gave me a newfound respect for the game and a deeper respect for other teams too. So that's why when yeah, we'll talk our trash and whatever, but it's all in fun. It's never anything disrespectful, anything like that. Towards a team, it's never anything disrespectful towards a player, because I know a lot of times some people get caught up with, oh, this player, if they had a bad game or something, or they had a string of bad games, oh, this player sucks, this player is terrible, this player is that. And I used to be of that thinking a long time ago, but you can't do that because these are professionals. Like these are the 1% of people in the world that actually made it to the NFL. And regardless if they have a bad game or bad games while they're in the league, or even if they don't make it in the league for very long, they still made it. And there's a reason why they made it that far. So you got to give players and teams, everybody their respect.
Yeah, I'm big on respecting the players. I have my thoughts, my negative thoughts, but I tend to keep them to myself unless I'm asked about it, because you have to realize, Ingraven, the guys. Um, I'll use Randy Moss as an example. Those guys are once in a generation. Most of these guys, they're pretty much on par athletically, and it takes a lot of work to separate yourself and make the team. Look at the difference between the practice squad players and the guys who are active or the guys who are just barely out of the league. Like there's talent wise, they're all the same. They're basically the same. It comes down to your work ethic, your professionalism, all that other stuff that goes into it. So hats off. I think a lot of fans look at him as, oh, he's 6'4", 250. If I was that fast, I'd be in the NFL. No, you wouldn't. You don't have the work ethic that these guys do. So yeah, man, I'm careful with my criticisms. I have my own opinions as everybody else, but it's always respectful. You're not going to catch me saying anything disrespectful. So
Right.
before we wrap up, though, can you? I'm sure a lot of you get this question a lot. Can you, real quick, just give your advice to anybody that wants to start on YouTube? What would you say to them?
Be original. Do not try to be like anybody else. Don't take anybody else's style. Be original and please be yourself. Because I've seen a lot of times when people they'll do YouTube and they'll try to put on an act. They'll try to be somebody who they're not. And that if you're sitting up here doing YouTube and you're trying to, I guess, make it on YouTube or whatever, and you're being somebody who you're not, then when you actually get a chance to be yourself, you're gonna be drained because you're putting on an act for so long, just trying to make it on YouTube or whatnot, and it's not worth it. Like with me, if anybody knows me personally, and on YouTube, you know you're gonna get some dad jokes. You're gonna get dad jokes in person. You're gonna get dad jokes on YouTube. It's me, and I love to be very straightforward. Now with YouTube, I do have to hold a little bit back sometimes 'cause I know it's a very I can't say everything that I want to say, but it's all good. But it's just to be respectful to people. Again, like I said, just another person. Don't treat anybody like you're better than them. Don't treat anybody like like they're worse than you. Don't do that because they're not. But I'll say be original, be yourself, and be consistent with whatever your consistency is. That's what I tell everybody. Whatever your consistency is, if it's one video a week, you do a video on that day every single week. If it's two videos a week, same thing. Whatever your consistency is, let that be what it is. And
Yeah.
just to have fun with it too. Have fun with it. If it's something, and find something that you could talk about every single day. So find something that you don't get tired of talking about. Like me, I don't get tired of talking about football. I can talk football all day, every day. And I'm not even a super like analytics guy. I'm not a super number cruncher guy when it comes to football. I'm more of a fan of the game, but I do understand some little details here and there. But I'm not this like the super film study guy. That's not me. But I've found my lane and what works for me and what I enjoy and what I appreciate. So it's all about finding your lane and finding your niche for whatever it is, whether it's football, whether it's something else, whatever it is, find your niche and run with it. And one last thing too, is this. I don't know if this is gonna end up being a part two of the video or whatnot, but depending on how long we go. But one more thing would be to don't let other people dictate how you run your channel. If suggestions are fine, that's cool. Even criticism is fine, it's cool. But you cannot get caught up in trying to please other people when it comes to your channel, because it's always going to be somebody that's not satisfied. Always, no matter what you do, no matter how you do things, there's always going to be somebody that's not satisfied with what you do and how you do it. So that's why I say, make sure you enjoy what you do the way you do it. It's going to be some people that's like, oh, I don't like that. I'm not feeling this. Okay, that's fine. Not everything is for everybody.
And that's good advice for life too. You know, that's
Yeah.
it's not just your YouTube channel. That's how you should handle your life, in my opinion. You know, I found it
Yeah.
best that, you know, no matter what my style is, some people will look at me and be like, "Oh, that guy." You know, you can't worry about that when you go out on
Right.
the street every day. You got to do what's
Mhm.
best for you, what's best for your family. Like you said, be yourself. I think that that's the most important. Like if I had to tell somebody, it would be yourself and find your niche, what makes you
Mhm.
you. And I think that overall, Ingraven, since we're running over, I just want to add that I think in the Ravens community themselves, you look at guys like Edgar Allen, who does his
Yeah.
own thing. You look at
Yeah.
guys like Simply AS, does his
Mhm.
own thing. You look at other guys, the 410 Sports Talk,
Mhm.
Ingraven. My channel is a little different. You go on Twitter, they're all over the place. Everybody has their own specialty. So I feel
Mhm.
grateful for the Ravens community where if I
Yes.
want to go to somewhere and that somebody, they're going to be themselves and specialize in what they do. There's not somebody else out there
Mhm.
that's really trying to be anybody else. So
Right.
I think we're kind of lucky with that, Ingraven. Would you agree?
Yeah. I agree because we have like a lot of different Ravens, YouTube content creators, whatever you want to call it. And it's a good mix. It's a really good mix. And having worked with pretty much all of them, it's been a lot of fun because everybody they present their own different angle. Because we obviously we all talk about the same thing. Because we all Ravens fans, so we all talk about the same thing. It's Lamar Jackson with his wide receivers, with his offensive line, draft, free agency, whatever. We all talking about the same subjects, but everybody puts their own spin on whatever that subject is that we're talking about, and everybody brings their own perspective and their own point of view, and they present it their way. There may be some guys that's more hype, more lively, more oh yeah. There may be some guys that's more mellow, more chill, more relaxed. Everybody has their own style, and I love it, man.
Me
I
too.
love it. I love that we can all work separately, but then we can all come together and work together too, man. It's a beautiful thing. And support is crazy, man. Support is something serious. And I just wish there was a I wish there was an app. I'm sure there probably is, but where we could all be on there at the same time talking Ravens football. I gotta figure that out. But
I want to get a fantasy team, a fantasy league going. So
mm,
I think it would be fun to like whoop your butt every week or something. I don't know, man. Like see whose
man,
team's the. It'd be
fantasy
see.
is tough for me, man. Because I get so caught up in the actual football. Like I used to be on my friend's fantasy team back like 2, 3 years ago, but I told him I said stop adding me because I can't do it because I get so caught up in the regular games and the real games and whatnot, and then I don't even edit the lineups or anything like that. So I told him I said just stop adding
All
me. I
right,
can't do it.
you're out then. You got to set the lineup, man. We can't have that. We can't have
Yeah, I will
no
be a
easy
waste of a roster spot, man.
no easy dubs, man. No easy dubs. Well, Engraven, I thank you. It was a pleasure running over. Now I'm going to have to go through what Cole Jackson told me is called the YouTube verification process, so I can make my videos a little bit longer. So thank you, man, for joining me. I appreciate you.
It's all good, man.
Have a good day, man.
You too.